Okay, Mr. Catan here. Today I'm bringing you two small variants for Catan that we enjoy and use regularly that I wanted to just quickly present and explain. They're very easy. I put them both on screen right now, and they are completely independent of each other. They're not combined or used together in any way. On the left hand side you have a card called Greatest Explorer. And this is actually a card that we made on our own. I haven't seen anyone else use some kind of variation of this. And it actually has kind of a funny story behind it. We like to play boards where we use fog islands or undiscovered areas, unexplored tiles. We like to play Explorers and Pirates that of course have several areas that are undiscovered. And we've had several players that have said that they've spent a lot of time exploring and finding undiscovered land, but never really felt like they've gotten anything back for it. And one player in particular mentioned it very directly to us that maybe you guys should have a card where you get actually a reward for exploring. And we just looked at each other and said, yes, we actually should have a card like that. And the next day I sat down and just put this together on my computer and came up with the Greatest Explorer. So this is a point that reads, the first player to acquire 5 exploration points gets this card. Another player who acquires more exploration points takes this card. So this works exactly like Longest Road, except that you use exploration points instead of roads. And an exploration point you get whenever you discover an undiscovered hex. It can be a land tile or land hex or an ocean hex, doesn't matter, as long as it's something that wasn't on the board when you began and now is on the board. So you can use anything to keep track of exploration points, some kind of token, some kind of tally. You know, it's not something you can use for anything else, but keep track of how many exploration points you have. So you get 2 victory points if you get it. It works a little bit differently from the Longest Road, because Longest Road you can also use ships for that if you play Seafarers, and it's very rare that somebody gets the maximum amount of roads or ships. I mean, I guess the total would be 30 if you add the 15 roads and 15 ships together. Greatest Explorer can actually have an end to it that is more likely to be attained. You know, there's only a set amount, there's a finite amount of undiscovered tiles on the game board. And everybody works on trying to find those. It's not like each player has their own area to discover. So pretty much every single time we play, there's one player that ends up becoming the Greatest Explorer, and he gets this card permanently. So this is actually something that can be settled during the course of the game. There's nothing else to this. I would add 1 victory point to the total, to the goal for how many you need to win the game if you implement this card. I have uploaded the link, or uploaded the image and the printout, and linked to that in the video description below, so make sure you check that out. The card on the right is not our creation. It's one I got from johnnycruiser.com. We also got the resource tokens, by the way, if you watched that video. I didn't give that website credit when I recorded that video. I apologize for that. So if you've seen the resource tokens video, that credit goes to johnnycruiser.com. Same place I found this. And this also gives you 2 victory points, and it reads, the first player to acquire 3 fishing fleet points. It's called Largest Fishing Fleet, the card, if I didn't say that, gets this card. Another player who acquires more fishing fleet points takes this card. Same principle as Greatest Explorer, except it's 3 points. And the way to acquire fishing fleet points is by having settlements and cities on either a lake hex or a fishing ground. So this, of course, can only be implemented if you play Fishermen of Catan. So a settlement on either of those 2 spots will give you 1 fishing fleet point. A city will give you 2. So If you play, say, Citizen Knights or some kind of scenario where you start with a city, somebody can technically start with this card. If you have a city on a lake and a settlement on a fishing ground, for example, then you'll have this card to begin with. Keep in mind that if you play Explorers and Pirates, a fishing shoal, or fish shoal, I guess it's called, hex, you cannot get points. You do not get fishing fleet points for that, because that doesn't give you any fish tiles. A harbor settlement, however, on a fishing ground, if you implement Fishermen of Catan into Explorers and Pirates, a harbor settlement will give you 2 points for this, just like a city would. Because a harbor settlement is worth 2 points, so that's pretty much it, again. So again, you would also add 1 victory point to the game total if you use largest fishing fleet. So 2 quick and easy to use variants that add something to the game without changing it too much. It's kind of minor, but it's just another thing to think about. So for those of you that don't like complicated games, that like to keep it simple, maybe this isn't something you would use, but we've used it to great effect and have been received very positively by most, not all players that we have had join our games when we've used these. So hope you guys check these out, try them out, and enjoy them. I've been Mr. Catan. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye-bye.